Welcome, NBDR followers. I am Joseph Snyder, CEO of No Borders NBDR, and I am coming to you on our holiday update video here from No Borders. As you can see, there is a lot going on here today. We have actually been doing this long enough now that this is my second December making NBDR update videos for you guys, sharing our mission, sharing our vision, talking about the things that we're doing. And so now, second year in, it is official that my awesome Seattle Seahawks ugly Christmas sweater is now an official NBDR tradition. So we're past the inaugural year, and you guys know every December this is what you're going to get. We may change up the type of Seattle Seahawks ugly Christmas sweater, but that's what's coming at you for the time being. So I apologize in advance to all of the Patriots and Niners fans and Cowboys fans out there. I am a Seahawks fan. I own it. I love it. And go Hawks. So, and also we're having a great year. It's been a pretty good year so far. Had a fantastic finish to Monday Night Football and all that. So having a great time. But I am here to bring you guys an update video about all of the amazing things going on over here at NBDR. My wife found me this awesome elf hat, and so I promised I would wear it. And I do get a lot of comments about the artwork that's behind me on these walls. We are a remote work business and a completely remote work company, so this is actually my home. And so we do have a fairly interesting kind of art collection that my wife and I have put together over many, many years. And the painting that normally hangs behind me is a scene of a vineyard, and it's kind of beautiful. It's by a wonderful artist, Dina Ferris-Appel, who does beautiful work. So, but for today, I thought we would change that out a little bit. And so we have got the Incredible Hulk, and he's framed in a Christmas wreath at the moment. So it is the holiday season, and I do like to be festive and have a good time. And so yeah, with that, let's get into it. First of all, end of a decade. I mean, I think back 10 years ago, and the goals that we were putting together and the things that we were doing at the time, and fast forward to today and where we are, and it's incredible. It's incredibly humbling. It's been an incredible journey, especially the last 2 or 3 years of really putting these pieces together and taking the action steps to do the reverse merger and join this journey with all of you. So with that, I challenge you to, sit back and reflect, look at the last decade of your life and the goals that you set 10 years ago and where you've come with them. And, right, it's more than just New Year's resolutions this year. It's a new decade for us to set a 10-year plan for, and to outline the steps, the achievements, the knowledge, the milestones, the goals, and the vision that we each have for our own individual lives, and for the businesses that we're building, if that's your calling, as it is mine. So happy December for those of you out there that celebrate it. Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah. Fitness moment, that one's for you. But this time of year is a special time of year. It's a time of family. It's a time of giving. It's a time of reflection. It's a time of gratitude. As many of you know who have followed us for a while, I have some property here in California. We have goats and we have gardens, and we do these things, and we create our own compost. We make our own soil. We make our own fertilizers, and it's a journey that I love, that my family loves. But the coming of the seasons and the turning of the seasons is a big part of that. We reap before we can sow. We have to tend before we we sow before we could reap. That was backwards. That was exactly wrong. Don't do that. You got to sow before you can reap. You got to tend before you can reap. And the winter cycle, the closing of the year cycle, and the beginning of the new year, and the transition into spring, it's a special time. It's a special time to network, to engage with family and friends, to reflect on the things that one has done, and plan for the things that one is about to do. And so that's where we find ourselves, in a very festive environment, and happy to be here and happy to share this with you. Now, I've got this whole page of stuff that I got to go through. So So let's kind of get to it. First of all, first and foremost, I want to welcome all of the new interested parties, OTC investors, people that may just be hearing about NBDR and No Borders and the things that we're doing and the journey that we're on. So I want to welcome all of you. If you are brand new to our journey, there's a bunch of these videos. You can go jump through and see me in this shirt last year or whatever the case may be. So I welcome you guys to our journey, and thank you for coming. Thank you for being curious about what we're doing, and for taking the time to sit down and listen to this. I do get a little bit long in the tooth. I've been known to make a long video or two. I'm going to try to keep this one a little bit succinct and get through the points for you guys that I know are important to you, the questions that you guys have, and the interest that you guys have. Hopefully I touch all of those points and answer those questions for you. Thank you guys for coming, right? I make these in order for us to stay engaged and proactive and in a positive way with all of you. And I see a bunch of new faces all the time, you know, coming across Twitter and coming across our contact forms and chat forums on on NBDR.co, you know, in the various forums and things that are out there. So we appreciate your attention. We appreciate you looking at what we're doing and reviewing what we're doing and analyzing what we're doing and giving us feedback and all of those things. We appreciate all of our investors and all of our shareholders. You know, creating and maintaining shareholder value is absolutely day one, step one critical for what we're doing. I am a major common stock shareholder in No Borders. It's a massive chunk of my personal holdings and a massive piece of my family's wealth as we move forward. And so I appreciate you guys being on that journey with us. And you know, the focus on creating shareholder value is a never-ending thing here at No Borders. I take it very personally. Our team takes it very personally. We work very, very hard every single day to make that a reality and to bring real results. With that, because there is so many new interested parties and so many fresh faces around No Borders right now, I want to do a quick company intro, kind of tell you a little bit about what we're doing, what we've been doing, what the projects are, and then we'll go into some of the fresher news and details and things like that. But quick company rundown. No Borders was founded on the ideas that remote work is a superior way to operate businesses, that lean operations, low cost, high impact, tactical operations are the most beneficial way of running a business for short and long-term shareholder value. And we have a blockchain-centered in-vertical tactical approach. Now, I'm going to get more into that, but basically the way that we view that is the verticals that we're looking at working in, the verticals that we currently work in, the verticals that really interest us, are areas where we see what we consider to be obvious improvements in operations, systems, or product market fit in those verticals, because blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology, and ancillary Web3 technologies such as Internet of Things and artificial intelligence or machine learning, 5G, you know, there's some interesting applications there, especially when you're dealing with peer-to-peer networks and how Internet of Things devices report data across peer-to-peer networks and in proximity. There's a lot of interesting things there, but I don't want to get too far down the technical. That's actually Chris's job. We can bring in our CTO, Chris Brown, and he could geek on all over it for you. But basically that these tools work in very specific ways and they solve problems in business. And when you can solve problems in business, you can make money and you can create wealth and you can create value. And when we reduce risk or we reduce steps or we improve cost efficiencies inside of a vertical, we win, right? So what we've done is we have MetaNet Supplies, which is our medical and dental equipment purveyor, if you will. We have No Borders Naturals, which is our absolutely fantastic, phenomenal, amazing line of CBD, hemp-based CBD wellness products. Absolutely phenomenal, phenomenal. We have No Borders Education, which is currently an internally focused division of doing training and systems development inside of our organizations. We are working within No Borders Education to build out and deploy an externally marketed and focused educational solution around blockchain and distributed ledger and IoT. And we see a real space in the market in the next year or two to get a lot of traction on the educational side of the deployments that we're working on internally. And there's appears to be a very, very large opportunity in the market to provide education to groups like veterans and some of these other groups of retrainees that are coming off of some of the industries that are getting impacted by things. I think one of the things that you're going to see over the next 3 to 5 years is a large retraining focus and a lot of capital available for retraining focus for swaths of truck drivers, right? These are some of the areas in the current operational world where you're going to have large sectors of people coming out of employment that they've known for a long time and needing to go into retraining cycles because of market disruptions that happen from technologies like the ones that we want to deploy, right? So as these technologies, as automated driving, artificial intelligence, as these things start to impact these verticals around the country and displace workers, or in the case of veterans, right? Our CTO, Chris Brown, is an Air Force veteran. Thank him for his service. But there's a lot of steps that the military takes, the U.S. military in particular, to make sure that when people are transitioning out of the military and after people have transitioned out of the military, that they have an opportunity to get retraining, get current market valid and impactful training, and so that they can have another career and a great income and things like that. So we see education in that light. It does not currently in external market with a product. It is an internally focused operation at the moment, but that's what we're working towards, and that's what we're working on with that. No Borders Funding, again, an area where currently internally focused, No Borders Funding has provided capital throughout our ecosystem, provided capital to Metadent, No Borders Dental, provided capital to No Borders Naturals, done some things like that with capital that we raised from our shareholders and deployed that capital through a structured funding subsidiary. Now, again, we see No Borders Funding being an externally focused arm in the near future. We see a lot of opportunity and a lot of synergies, and we have a lot of meetings and relationships around real estate funding and these types of things. Real estate syndicated finance for development, syndicated finance for long-term investment vehicles, real estate investment trust type vehicles, real estate bonds and securities. All of these sorts of variants around structured and real estate finance, way better on blockchain. Just way better. It works better, it's smoother, it's cleaner, it's cheaper, it really fits. And so we see a lot of opportunity there. Again, not something that we currently have a launch at this moment, not something that we're currently at market with, but an area that is such an obvious fit, such an obvious win, that we have a subsidiary in it. That subsidiary works internally at the moment, but we have a lot of focus and a lot of energy around that segment, and we always have. Our background, Cynthia Tanabe is our chief operating officer. This woman has built a spectacular real estate portfolio. She has built a phenomenal real estate business, property management business. She has done this for a long time. Myself, I've done a bunch of real estate investment in my day. Our CTO has done a bunch in his day. The whole organization has come from this background of investing in and working around real estate finance, real estate risk management, things like that. So, there's an obvious fit there for us. We see that. No Borders Labs. No Borders Labs, make sure this video works on the internet for me. Yay. But no, really, No Borders Labs operates, maintains all of our digital operations. And again, as a remote work team, our digital operations are our entire organization, all the ways that our teams talk to each other, the way that they talk to our customers, the way that they engage, all of our chat systems, websites, e-coms, point of sale systems, inventory management systems, everything that it takes from an IT and a technological perspective to run this organization, No Borders Labs runs for us, while building and testing a whole bunch of different things around our ecosystem, such as CBD Lab Chain. CBD Lab Chain is the result of 2 years of work, a year on the ground, getting feedback and input about the No Borders natural CBD line, hearing the customer feedback, hearing the medical professional feedback, hearing feedback from, 30,000 medical professionals around the country last year as we traveled the country with this amazing line of products and shared it with America, and listened to what the feedback was. And the feedback that we got was very simple. Number one, people are afraid of failing a drug test. Number two, they want to make sure that what the bottle says, the amount of CBD that the bottle says, that it actually has. You know what? That's pretty simple. That's not crazy, right? And we had thousands of people tell us this. And what answers that call beautifully and impeccably and perfectly? Blockchain. Because if a third-party lab test goes directly from the lab's computer to the blockchain, it's immutable, it's permanent, it's secure, right? It's on a distributed ledger. It cannot be edited. And because it cannot be edited, the consumer can then trust that what the bottle says, and what the lab test result says, it actually is. Almost any of you can go out there today in the United States of America, go to your corner smoke shop or gas station, and you can find a bottle of CBD product on the shelf today, okay? You can ask for the lab test results there. If they have them, great, you're already a step ahead. But what they're gonna show you is a piece of paper. And the fact of the matter is that when you and I buy a house, we don't just accept a piece of paper. We make sure that there's a third party verifying the title to what we're purchasing, right? That's the county recorder. That's actually a government function in America today, right? Rightfully so, by the way. But we wouldn't just take a piece of paper for that. We want that recorded. We want it verified. We want a title insurance company to verify that chain of events and tell us that it is correctly what it says it is. That's what CBD Lab Chain does for CBD brands. Specifically today, it does it for NoBordersNaturals.com. No Borders Naturals is today the only CBD company in America that has all of our third-party lab test results permanently and immutably recorded on CBD Lab Chain. And No Borders Labs built that solution. It's built as a platform as a service. So it's designed for us to charge a per test fee to our competitors and other CBD brands and other CBD labs for them to record their data immutably and securely on our blockchain platform solution and receive the QR code for their batch number as well as their certification icon that they can put on those products. That's a trust layer. That's a unique selling proposition, a nice USP for any CBD brand in the country. And so with that, we did a press release. We did an announcement. I launched CBD Lab Chain at Blockchain Expo 2019 in San Francisco with my dear friend, John Hargrave, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it or heard about it or gotten it, I highly recommend that you go pick up a copy of Blockchain for Everyone. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it, I think, at any airport, pretty much. I've seen it at all the ones I've flown through in the last 6 months. Phenomenal book. It's funny. It's heartfelt. It's real. The guy's a genius. John Hargrave is a dear friend of mine. And yeah, I would definitely go get his book if I were you. Announced CBD Lab Chain at Blockchain Expo, got phenomenal feedback, have been having amazing discussions with all kinds of people around the blockchain and crypto worlds, about these real world use cases and real world value propositions. And it's a very, very cool thing. It's a very, very cool thing. It also tailors out to a bunch of other industries, as you might imagine, and we may own a whole bunch of other domains around it, right? Yeah. So there's a revenue model there. There's, that all stems from No Borders Labs. and the work that Chris and his teams do, not just to make sure that the systems and operations, digital marketing, fulfillment systems, just endless amount of stuff that these guys make sure runs 24/7 beautifully, but they're also digging deep into the data that we're getting from the real world business operations. Because remember, No Borders Naturals sells real products in the real world to real customers today. And we're proud of that, right? We're not just building a solution for a vertical and saying, hey, we think this vertical needs this, check it out. No, we make money every single day helping people feel better. These products help me. They help my life. They got me off of Percocet after 2 shoulder surgeries. This is a part of my journey. And we share this. This is our roll-on, like the hot cold freeze gel with 100 milligrams of CBD. Absolutely fantastic. I keep one of these in my bag. I use it when I fly. I use it when I drive. I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic. No Borders Labs makes all of that possible while building the things that we believe are going to change the future of commerce and the future of the way that these verticals get impacted. And we want to own those solutions. Intellectual property, intellectual property, intellectual property. This is about us coming in and saying, we can launch products in market, amazing, best in class, most beautiful, most well branded, most well packaged. We can launch products in vertical. We can make money in vertical. We can build brands in vertical. And while doing that, we can deploy new technologies for that vertical, for ourselves in that vertical, and file the IP on it to protect it long term, create shareholder value. That's key. That's key. We're doing that. We're doing it today. We have got a bunch of work being done with our intellectual property attorneys as we speak around CBD lab chain, around the processes, around the systems, around the things that are protectable through intellectual property and patent filings and things like that here in the US and abroad. And our teams are working on that. It's not a cheap thing to do. It's not a fast thing to do. But we're doing it as aggressively as we can. We're going to continue being as aggressive as we can on intellectual property. We already have been finished registering multiple trademarks. We've got a lot of stuff going on the intellectual property side that all ties back into the work that Chris and his teams at No Borders Labs do every single day to bring solutions to market, to ideate solutions, inside these verticals and around these verticals, and sometimes totally in a separate vertical. There's a couple of things being worked on right now that are way far afield, but they're impactful solutions that blockchain has a real value proposition for. And hey, why wait to buy into the vertical? If you've got a solution that you think's a fit. So those are great things for us. That model, though, that model of get inside the vertical, operate from within, solve pain points for ourselves, and then offer those solutions to our competitors. That's a model that we believe works, right? That's a model that we believe in as much as we believe in remote work. That's a model that we believe in as much as we believe in lean operations and lifestyle by design. And I think, and I'm proud to say, that No Borders and our teams have done a hell of a job proving that model out. This isn't talk. This isn't us having a hypothetical conversation about, well, maybe if we were able to deploy a couple of things, it would work out really well. No, well, maybe blockchain does. No. We built MetaNet Supplies while building No Borders Naturals. Those aren't just two different businesses, folks. One's named after the company, one's a separate outside name. Did that on purpose. Wanted to show you that we could multi-brand at the same time in the real world. One's exclusively B2B, MetaNet Supplies, sells medical equipment supplies to doctors and dentists, business to business. One is exclusively business to consumer. No Borders Naturals, a consumer product line that we sell to consumers. Wanted to show you that we could do both. that we're elastic, that we have the fortitude and the ability to deploy a multifaceted set of sales propositions, a multifaceted set of vertical attack, a diverse set of products, while staying focused on the undercurrent of blockchain, IoT, AI, 5G as better future solutions and value creating technologies. It's taken us almost 2 years for me to sit here today and tell you that we've done this, we've done it well, we've done it quarter over quarter of revenue growth, right? We've just quarter after quarter after quarter, growth, 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 growth across every division, across everything we deploy. They're all growing. They're all growing at the same time. And we're lean as shit. Our burn rate is tiny, tiny. We don't pay for any offices. I don't pay for electric bills. I don't pay for heating bills. Our team is completely remote. You know, we use our resources tactically across a broad spectrum, right? I'm not paying a graphic design team for Metanet, a graphic design team for Naturals. We got one team. They do all of it. They do NBDR stuff. They do natural stuff. We got one video guy. And he's part-time. And he does, you know, there's magic to being able to allow people to work from home, allow them to work on diverse, interesting, not necessarily connected projects, keep them interested, keep them curious, keep them engaged. They get to live and work where they want. They get to work on multiple interesting projects at a time. They get to never get bored and always stay busy. And we get to not have to pay a team for this and a team for that and a team for this. It's really powerful. It's really powerful. And it's really bloody hard to pull off, by the way. You know, I had a great call with a guy named Chris Hurd who runs a remote work platform that they built, which is really interesting. Last week, you know, and we had this chat, and you know, I believe remote work's the future. I think a lot of people do. You know, this guy definitely does. He's built a platform for it. You know, but we have this conversation. It is a challenge. It is a challenge to understand how to manage and how to motivate and how to inspect what you expect, right? When everybody's not sitting around the water cooler. There's a lot of benefits. There's some challenges, but the fact of the matter is that it's way cheaper. We have a much lower burn rate than any other company in any of our verticals or divisions. And we're able to deploy in a multifaceted way. And I think we've proven that out to the point now that I can sit here today proud that we've done a hell of a job showing what we can do in a multifaceted spectrum while impacting with an additional layer of technological deployment. We're just getting started. We're just getting started. We had to prove that so I could have this conversation with you so that we could go deploy even bigger, right? So that's where we're at. Okay. Oh, my Thanksgiving note's in the middle. I don't know why. Okay, well, happy Thanksgiving. It's in the past. It's like a week or so ago. Happy Thanksgiving. Every year, myself and my family, we go to Phoenix and we meet up with the team and Cynthia and Chris and a whole bunch of people and deep fry a bunch of turkeys and just have a great time. This year, I was not able to do that. Here in California, we got hit with a crazy storm. I live in the mountains north of Los Angeles. We have some animals here. We have some goats. We have, you know, dogs and all kinds of stuff. But because of that, and because this crazy snowstorm was coming in, my family and I stayed here. And so for the first year in many, many years, I was just me and my wife and my 2 daughters, and we had a beautiful meal and a beautiful Thanksgiving. And, you know, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to have the life that I have and the opportunities that I have and been born when I was. And I'm grateful for all of you. And I'm grateful for just so much. It's really humbling to reflect on the year that we've had, the years that we've had, the opportunity that we have, and everything else. I had a wonderful Thanksgiving with my family. Spent it with my wife and my daughters, and absolutely had a beautiful time. And I hope that you did too. So I really hope that you had an amazing Thanksgiving and that you have much and much and much to be grateful for. I do. I want to take a second. I want to thank my wife. I want to thank my daughters. You know, they have poured and put up with so much on this No Borders journey. I mean, my wife and daughters traveled all over the country with me, helping me share our No Borders Naturals line with people last year. And they, you know, they were absolutely incredible, absolutely incredible. You know, my daughters have shared CBD with thousands of people. You know, it's been an incredible journey, and the prices that we pay for the hours that we work and the time that we put in and the time that I spent on the road when they couldn't go, you know, for whatever reason. You know, my wife has her own business, my kids have school. You know, it's an American reality, right? But I'd like to thank them. I want to thank the No Borders teams. You know, there's no way to describe, you know, there's so many people. There's so many people who put in so much time and energy and passion and attention into the things that we do. You know, we've grown and grown and grown, and we just get more and more amazing folks who give a shit and do a great job. And it's the most humbling experience for me. I'm super grateful. Our advisors, man, the advisory board was probably one of the best things that we did. You know, I think just the network. I mean, just the phone calls that I can make right now today and just get advice from the most incredible people on this planet, people I would never name drop in a million years because I'm not that guy. But I will name drop the advisors who got me in the door with those folks: Francine Hardaway, Boo Headforce, you know, Michael Noel, you know, Brian Dawson. I mean, these, you know, even if some of these folks aren't renewing for another term because we're bringing in a new tranche of people, even if some of these people, you know, we had a lot of engagement with at one point in time and not so much at another point in time. You know, whatever the case may be, these people gave us so much insight, so much advice, so much power, so much network last year, and didn't cost the company a penny. They all accepted small amounts of restricted stock as compensation. They just cared. They just wanted to be a part of the journey that we were having and share their insights with us. And, you know, what I've learned is when you ask people for help and you ask people to care, most people are willing to do it and are happy to do it and happy to go along for the ride. And I'm just so grateful and so thankful for all of the people that have done that. Last but not least, our shareholders, man. I mean, there's a long list, and I don't want to miss anybody, but, you know, Tim Riemann and BMO. BMO, I know I'm not supposed to use your real name. Funny guys. It's a Twitter thing. But, you know, Pumi and Fitness Mama and, gosh, man, Andrew down in Texas. You know, I got to meet a bunch of these, like, I got to meet these people this year. I got to have lunch with BMO. I got to have, as a matter of fact, I had lunch with BMO. I had lunch with Andrew in San Antonio. I had dinner with Tim Riemann in Boston. I mean, I got the opportunity to add a whole spectrum of incredible, kind, humble, brilliant people to my life because they were investors in No Borders. And I welcome you as well. I mean, I am incredibly grateful to all of the people who, and God knows how long this video is going to be, right? I apologize. They go on for, I know, it's a sickness. I apologize. You know, I'm so grateful to you guys who watch these videos and take the time out of your day. You know, Boo Headforce, after my last shareholder video, which was about an hour, he called me and he said, my wife asked what movie I was watching. You know, I was in my office so long staring at my computer. My wife comes, are you watching a movie? What are you doing? No, it's just Joe talking. So I am loquacious. There's the word of the day. All right. I'm grateful for our shareholders. I really, really am. You know, it's easy to say, it's hard as shit to follow through on. But we're committed to shareholder value. And I'm one of the biggest common stock shareholders in the company. I plan on staying that way. I've never sold a single share. I have zero intention on starting now. You know, I, as a shareholder, I appreciate every single one of you that looks at our organization and looks at our company and says, that's a place where I can put my money. And those folks are going to work their asses off to make sure that there's more of it later. So that's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. And I'm grateful to have you guys on the journey. All right. Some new items. Let's talk about new items. News today, the news today, which I'm sure you've already seen, because by the time this video gets done, whatever it has to do, the PR will be out. But news today, a Reg A has been qualified in both Colorado and New York. Now, that's huge. We you know, look, New York's the finance capital of the world. We all know that. Colorado is probably the finance capital of the CBD world. So, you know, we have finalized approvals and we're fully qualified in Colorado and New York. We have currently filed in 2 other states. We're working on more, and we're moving forward aggressively to make sure that our Reg A is open and qualified in any of the jurisdictions where we have groups of interested party groups of shareholders and people that are interested in investing in the company. So that's huge. You know, we worked really hard to get the Reg A qualified with the SEC, and to a point, you know, these state filings take their own life cycle to get done. And so what you're seeing is the culmination of months and months and months of work that all had to go on behind the scenes while we were building No Borders Naturals, while we were, you know, asking all those consumers those questions and traveling around the country with the CBD line, while we were building CBD Lab Chain. This all happens at the same time, right? We don't do one and then the other and then the other. We'd have to be 15 years into the journey by now. So this workload that, you know, myself and Chris and Cynthia and Andrew Caldicott and, you know, Brian from Now CFO, just, you know, all of the people and all of the experts and all of the experience that it takes to get these things done is an amazing thing. And I'm super proud of our teams for getting that done, for being where we are today, and for having this structure open. Now, I've talked about the Reg A before. We've had this discussion. You can go back and look at the other videos. You can read the press releases. But there still is a lot of questions about it, right? It's one of these things, especially as new shareholders, that you're coming in and looking at it and going, wait, I want to make sure I understand this. You know, what's happening in relation to, you know, what's happening in relation to dilution, what's happening in relation to the capital structure for the company. So I'm not going to go long in the tooth on this, but I just want to break this down really, really quickly. We have an approved Reg A, a qualified Reg A with the SEC, now qualified in Colorado and New York, so we can accept capital from, you know, the New York banks. We can accept capital from private investors in New York, private investors in Colorado, bankers in Colorado, broker dealers, things like that, right? Okay. We filed that Reg A with the SEC. We have a clear map of capital utilization that we show what we're going to do with this capital as we deploy it. And we also have a way of moving forward as an organization while limiting our own dilution. The Reg A puts us in the driver's seat of the financing conversation around our company, essentially for the next year. Okay, so I want to be really, really, really clear about that, because we have a tactical deployment for the capital listed in the Reg A that shows how we use this money tactically so that we all make sure that it has the most impact. That's our job, right? To impact what we're doing with capital to grow that capital, okay? So there's a clear map in the Reg A that shows how we believe that gets done. And Timothy Riemann actually did a phenomenal job of analyzing our Reg A, and he put together an analysis that's on his Twitter. So you can go look him up on Twitter, and I think he has it on Random Analytics as well. but he did a phenomenal analysis of it and some of the tactical things that we're doing inside of those structures. So I'm not going to repeat that. You can go look it up. It's all over Twitter. You can check it out. And we've retweeted it a couple of times, that kind of stuff. But basically, this gives us the driver's seat on the company's finances, because what it does, and the way that we're utilizing it, is we've got the Reg A, it's approved, it's qualified, it's there. We have bankers who are willing to purchase shares in the Reg A from us, and then they hold those shares and do whatever they do with those shares once they've purchased them. We also have private investors that can purchase shares from the Reg A directly from the company, and they can hold those shares, they can deposit those shares into their broker's account, whatever that case may be. But we don't have to take all of the money up front. We don't have to sell all of the shares up front. And as we move forward through this year, as the operational reality and the market awareness of our business and the value of our business changes, we have the right to go back to the SEC based on the market conditions, based on what's going on, and amend the Reg A at certain points in time to reflect the different market conditions. Now, the Reg A was filed for us to sell $3 million in stock at a penny a share. That would be, if we did that in one shot, if we just called up all of our friends and said, hey guys, we need you guys all to buy stock, let's put together $3 million. That would be a massive dilution event for the company. It would be. That's not something I want to do. That's not good for my holdings, other than the fact that it puts cash into the company that the company uses strategically, which, right? I don't like that kind of dilution. And I think that you guys know that by now, okay? But we do need to raise $3 million to get to the strategic points of milestones that we already have mapped out. We know they're mapped out. They're in the Reg A, right? There's a whole analysis about them that we just talked about. We do need to raise this capital to impact the verticals that we see being truly, truly, truly valuable and explosive growth areas for our company. We need to do that. Initially, we are going to take some capital at the 1 penny a share, and that's going to have some dilution effect on the business. It's not going to be massive. It's not going to be 300 million shares, right? There's a balance, and also there's a need, not just a capital need, right? We have growing businesses and growing operations. So every day that our businesses grow, we actually need a little bit less capital that we have to go raise, because we have revenue that's growing that pushes that. We love that. We love that. We're revenue first, lean operators. Like, we love that. Okay. But tactical impact of verticals takes tranches of capital and tranches of deployment. And we know that, and you know that, and that's why capital raising happens, right? So we do need to raise this money. Initially, we're going to raise smaller tranches of cash to hit the milestone, the immediate milestones that we need, that we believe, and we know, and we need, and we're already on track for, okay? Doing that. That has an additional value for us. Our stock currently, in our opinion, needs some additional liquidity in the market. We believe that, currently we have about a 27 million count float. These aren't exact numbers, so give me a little wiggle room here, but we have about a 27 million float on about a 300 million total issue. Now, that's less than 10%. Less than 10% of our total issued shares are actually free trading. And that means that there's very little actual NBDR stock out on the market to trade. That's not a good thing for us necessarily. It puts us in a position where bad actors and people that may not have shareholder interests at heart can impact our stock one way or another with very little that they need to do that because there's a lack of liquidity in the market. And sometimes it puts us in the position, like I've seen in the past, where we have close to 100% short volume every single day that our stock does trade, because there just isn't stock out there for these folks to buy, and the market makers get stuck. They just get stuck with orders that they need to fulfill in order to keep their business going, and they're forced into this position of shorting our stock. That's my opinion. I got no proof of that. That's not a thing. It's just, I look at a market and I understand it. I go, well, shit, So understand from our perspective that these initial small tranches of capital that we are getting in, some that we've, for the record, that we've already taken in from private shareholders already, and gotten cash in and issued stock out on the Reg A. Again, small amounts of stock, and so far to people that aren't actually even looking to trade it, right? But when we deal with an investment bank, and an investment bank takes a tranche of stock, they are looking to trade it, and we're looking to see that happen. We want that honesty and fluidity and liquidity. We want a tradable market for our security. We think that that's good for shareholder value. We think that it's good for the business. We think that it's good for the company. So from there is the important part, because as we grow our business over the next periods of time, as we impact the market awareness for our business with videos like this that I've, still here hanging out with y'all, right? As we do that, we believe that we're going to be able to access capital inside the Reg A at a much better, at a much higher, at a potentially, again, guys, I got to be careful what I say here, but at a potentially higher price per share than the 1 cent that we're currently offering. That's a hope, guys. I'm hoping, and we're working. I got no control over that. I got no proof that that's going to be a reality. I just don't. All I can do is impact the works out of this thing, and we do that every damn day. But I can plan, and I can be strategic. And if I'm planning on being strategic, and we're working our asses off, and the things that we're doing make sense and fit and grow, then our business should grow, and our company should grow, and we should be worth more money tomorrow than today. That's the way that I see it, right? That's the vision and the work and the mission that I'm on. As that comes to fruition, if that comes to fruition, then we get an opportunity to go back and do an amendment and say, we're worth more money, and so we want to charge more money for these things. That allows us to have a very realistic look at how we raise this initial small amount of $3 million, because honestly, between you and I, that's not much. It's a hell of an impact for what we're doing, and we're going to get amazing results from it. But that's not a lot of cash, guys. That's not a lot of money. It's a hell of a lot of money against our runway, because we have almost no burn because we built this company right. So it gets deployed tactically instead of being burnt. I love that. But I'm not here to play a $3 million game, folks. I'm just not here to do that. I'm here to play a much, much, much bigger game. This is what we consider to be a seed round. That's what this is in our eyes. A $3 million Reg A is a seed round. And a seed round gets followed up with an A round. So I don't know how much you know about venture capital, but check it out. So the Reg A is a massive milestone for our company. It puts, like I said, it puts us in the driver's seat. I've been against toxic convertible debt the whole time we've done this. There was some toxic debt against the company when I bought it, and I negotiated a hell of a deal. We paid 1 penny on the dollar for that debt. That guy could have gotten 500 million shares of No Borders for his single note. He settled for 5 million. Great deal for us, great deal for him. Everybody came out ahead, and he was able to do his deal. Super great. We were able to clean our books. Super great. Love that. Companies end up in toxic debt solutions because they don't have control, because they're not in the driver's seat, because they have something that they want to go do. They have something that they need to pay for, and they don't have access to capital because they haven't built the structure correctly. That's a dangerous place to be in a business. I don't know if you've ever tried to get a loan when you really, really, really need one, but that's not when you want to be going to get money, folks. So what this Reg A does is it puts us in the position where we can get liquidity and fluidity for our market now, where we can get small amounts of capital to hit our immediate next impact milestones now, and to put us in the position to have a fluid motion based on the market realities and the valuation of our business moving into 2020, where we can move those things around with an amendment, and we can potentially take that 3 million or more at a much, much, much lower amount of dilution and a much, much, much lower dilutive impact on the business. That's what I want to do. That's what you guys want me to do. That's what we're doing. And I'm proud to say that we're qualified in both Colorado and New York to do that. So super happy about that. Super happy about that. Okay. Black Friday, Cyber Monday. I mean, you know, we ran a bunch of different specials. I'm super stoked. The sales numbers for Medident, the sales numbers for Naturals were both fantastic. It's an interesting season for us. You know, we are always testing things and playing little games. You know, on the B2B side on Medident, you know, we really were not sure, you know, how that was going to play out. You know, people are at home, they're focused on family. Oh man, it worked out great. We had some phenomenal sales days. Super stoked about that. You know, No Borders Naturals just crushed Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We had some specials, we had some sales. You know, like I said, last year, we traveled the country with this line of product, sharing it with people. It's built an amazing email list. It's built an amazing customer list. And when we send those people discounts, man, they grab the products off the shelf, let me tell you. They're fantastic products. You know, one of the things that's in that milestone list of capital deployments from the Reg A is this focus around No Borders Naturals and really bringing it to market. We've played with a lot of different stuff. We've made a great amount of inroads. Like I said, we have a fantastic customer list. We just hit the ground and did it last year, and I'm proud of that. But, you know, there's an area of celebrity endorsement, celebrity athlete really kind of focus, where we see great potential for the No Borders Naturals brand. I can tell you this, since we launched CBD Lab Chain 2 weeks ago in San Francisco, the sheer depth and speed of engagement that we have had with celebrity athletes, with athletes around America, with people bringing us athletes that they know, with some of the work that we're doing with some sports marketing type companies, it's a value proposition that sticks. These folks don't want to lose their career. If you're a NASCAR driver, you don't want to not be able to drive your car because you took a CBD product and they lied to you and it actually had THC in it. You failed a drug test. If you're an MMA fighter, you don't want that same thing, right? If you're a PGA golfer, if you're, you know, Major League Soccer, I know somebody call me out on this and I apologize. I am not a soccer guy. I know Chris is going to kill me. I know my brother Brandon's going to kill me. Major League Soccer, MLS? Is it MLS? I don't know. I actually don't know. I apologize. Go Seahawks. So, you know, I'm an American, guys. We don't watch soccer. I apologize, even with all the time I've spent in South America. So we've had so much incredible connection and discussions and meetings so far with athletes from across the spectrum just in the last 2 weeks. I mean, the minute that we had Lab Chain, the minute that we could say we're the company that has these things immutably recorded, they can never be changed, they can never be edited, you can know for a fact that you're not going to fail that drug test, man, that resonated. Let me tell you a story. So really looking forward to sharing more about that as we finalize things. Again, we don't talk about stuff until it's done. You know, we don't name drop unless there's a contract signed. But this is something that's high on the list. We believe it's a major marketing focus for No Borders Naturals for next year, and how we bring that product line really to the forefront and make it an industry leader in the hemp CBD business. You know, there's a hockey stick opportunity there for us. I mean, absolutely. There is a flight to quality happening around the hemp CBD worlds right now. People don't want to buy just whatever dog shit trash is at their 7-Eleven. They just don't want to. There's an absolute flight to quality, and I think we've earned a spot. And with the access to capital and the driver's seat that the Reg A gives us, I believe that we have the tools that we need to take that spot and really, really, really impact it in a big way with some amazing people. And I really look forward to sharing that with you. I want to take a shout out moment here for Nick Harrington and Brittany Killian. These two people handle so much at the No Borders companies. These two people give us every inch of their soul and have poured in far more than is asked of them. You know, and they really are truly good, amazing, passionate, kind, humble people. So to Nick Harrington, Brittany Killian, I appreciate you. I thank you. And we love having you guys on the team. You guys are amazing. I love the whole team, but I specifically wanted to give a shout out to those two. They really are running stuff and handling things for us and making my life just so much easier. So I want to give them a little bit of a shout out. That's it, you guys. You know, closing out an incredibly successful 2019. I mean, challenging, just amazing, rewarding, humbling, gratifying. Man, this year has been a true journey. It's been one of the best that I've gotten to go on. There's moments I will never forget. You know, there's people and places and things that are just absolutely make every inch of this worthwhile. And we are charging into 2020, guns blazing, ready to go. We've done the work, and we're going to continue to do the work. And I appreciate you all. Happy Thanksgiving. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. I love you. I appreciate you. And to all a good night.